What's up, everybody? I am going to do a video series about Rankerx, how to use it, what it can do, things like that. I've noticed that there is not a lot of resources out there for people. I mean, I go on forums all the time, and everybody's asking about Rankerx and how do I do this, how do I do that, and there's no I don't know how to say it. There's no video tutorials that actually use voice. And, I mean, there's some video tutorials, but they don't. There's really not a person on there just explaining. It's just you're watching somebody click around. So what I'm going to do is take you through Rankerx and take you through the basics of the software and just kind of show you how to get set up, and then some cool tricks you can do with certain campaigns and everything. So here it is. This is Rankerx. If you hover over the left side, you'll get the menu. You can look at campaigns, content buckets, blurbs, turbo wizards, which I never use. I only use regular wizards. Custom sites, where you can add your own custom sites. Private networks. So what you can do is you can go out and purchase a bunch of Tumblr blogs with high page authority, or you can use self-hosted WordPress blogs. There's a lot of platforms. So what you can do is plug them in to the private networks area and then post to those sites directly from Rankerx. So it really helps if you're managing a large private blog network, or if you're managing a large network of Web 2.0 blogs. Email list, you can upload lists of emails. So if you do, Rankerx provides emails for free, but sometimes they get banned from certain sites. So I've always found it good to use yandex.com email accounts. They work great. Never had any issues with them being banned from any sites, and they're pretty cheap. But Rankerx changes their domains here and there, but they'll give you free emails. Site selections. I've never used this before, so I'm not even really sure what it does. Options, you can do your options and configure the settings. Changelog, you can see what updates were made to Rankerx. So let's start with options, because you're gonna need to know how to set up the software. So we go to options. Now it does open a new tab, and I've got proxies here, so I get my proxies rotated every few days. So I just have to plug them in quite frequently. Now, the first thing you want to do is go to General. Number of retries for failed submissions. I only set it to 2. You can set it to 5, but if it doesn't do it after 2 times, it's probably not going to do it the 5th time. Maximum number of threads. I set this to 100 because I'm using private proxies, and got about 60 private proxies that I use with Rankerx. So now, if you let's say you only have 10 private proxies, you can still set it to 100 threads. 10 threads per proxy. But if you're using public proxies, you probably want to lower your thread count. Maximum number of browser threads. I just set this at 10 because I'm using really good proxies, so set it to the max. So then you come over here to proxies. You definitely want to have this button checked, use proxy for submission. The first time I set up Rankerx, I put my proxies in, but I forgot to check this box, and I ended up using my actual IP address, and that wasn't good. So make sure you check this box. You can add proxies by pasting them in. You can delete them by clicking on them and highlighting them. You can check them by clicking that button. You can get proxies by clicking here. So if you click here, I've never clicked that because I have my own from Instant Proxies. They're really inexpensive, and their proxies are really good. They always pass Google tests and Scrapebox. I never have any issues, and I think they're like $1. I want to say like $1.25 each, so not a bad deal. Okay, so then once you've configured this, you want to click Save Changes and then click the screen to close. Next is CAPTCHA settings. So what you want to do is choose a capture service. I like 2Captcha. They do a good job. They're pretty cheap. My backup is dCapture, but you can pick different ones. They've got Death by Captcha, which I do not recommend. I used to love Death by Captcha because they're cheap. There was a good success rate, but lately there's been issues with their API. So I was having issues with Rankerx, using Death by Captcha to solve the captchas, and then I was also having issues with GSA, Search Engine Ranker. So I stopped using Death by Captcha, and I love them too. They did a great job, and I even used to subscribe to their monthly. They had a monthly plan where if you signed up, you would get bonuses. Because I was using them so much, but now it just doesn't even work. So I mean, I'm sure it works. It works sometimes, but it's not reliable, at least in my experience. So I use 2Captcha and dCapture. Now, if you're okay, so Google has you've got no captcha and reCAPTCHA. These are some new captchas that are really hard to break. 2Captcha can solve them, and allegedly Death by Captcha can too, but again, I recommend 2Captcha. So you have to have a different, you have to make sure that if you want to solve Google no captcha and reCAPTCHA, you want to put the settings in here, put the credentials in. So moving on, if you use Article Builder, you can integrate with Rankerx. I don't use Article Builder, but I do use Content Machine. So I've got my API key plugged in there. Content Machine is fairly helpful. If you have a spinner, you can use the built-in spinner, or you can use Spin Rewriter, the Best Spinner, Word AI. Yeah, I mean, they've got all the spinners pretty much, all the popular ones. So I just use the built-in spinner. In fact, I don't even spin from Rankerx. I just import the articles from either Content Machine or SEO Content Machine. In fact, I prefer SEO Content Machine for importing Rankerx articles. So again, you can use the spinner inside of Rankerx. It's an all-in-one, Rankerx is kind of an all-in-one solution, but I personally don't use it. If you have ultra spinnable articles, you can connect here, and then you can order articles. So you have to check here to allow Rankerx to spend your credits in the marketplace. I don't use this, but some people do. Indexer. I use indexification because you get 50,000 links a month for $17. Or no, I'm sorry, you get 50,000 links per day for $17 a month. I mean, it's just insane. I mean, that's a really good deal. Now, the success rate is not always the best. So it's not bad. I mean, for $17 a month for 50,000 links a day, I mean, that's a good deal. I build so many links that, if I were to use something like Backlinks Indexer, I could be spending hundreds of dollars a month on indexing. So I just use indexification. And again, if your content is good, it's going to get indexed anyways. But, I use indexification, but it does support almost every indexer that you can think of. So, if you're using something different, you just put the API key in. And then blocked sites. So if you want to block a site, you can. So if you want to add a site, so Rankerx comes preloaded with sites. You can put one of them in here, and then it will not post to that site. Or you can just not select it from the module. But if you're using the wizards, you would want to put the blocked sites in here. I don't block anything, so but you can if you want. So those are the Rankerx options. And then, so if we go to campaigns. Now this is if you're doing things manually. A lot of people use wizards, but I do a lot of it manually. I now use the wizards sometimes, but for me, I like to have control over things. So you just click on Add New and name your campaign. So we'll just call it Test 1. You hit save. Now to enter the campaign, you click on the I. So to put it into perspective, let's say you're working on 5 different projects for clients. You would want to make a new campaign for each client. And then from inside the campaign, that's where you manage the projects. So that's where you manage individual link building projects. So this is the main campaign dashboard. Once you're inside of the campaign, if I had projects, they would be listed here. Profiles are the accounts that you create. So we'll look at that more later, but basically if you want to create a bunch of Web 2.0 accounts and sell them to somebody, you would just come over here, export the profiles, and then send them to whoever you're selling them to. Okay, link sets. Link sets are where Rankerx gets its links from. So you would want to put your money site in here. You would want to create, in fact, we'll do that now. So you want to add a new link set. We'll call it money site. Hit save. And then you have to go into the link set. Now here you can import URLs. So if you want to copy and paste a bunch of them, you do it in this format. So the X doesn't really mean anything. It's just, I don't know why they had to use the X instead of just the pipe, but you put the URL, the anchor text you want to use, and then the number of links on the page. So, or you can just put the URL in. So we'll just put the URL in. You gotta add the HTTP. And then we'll just do example.com. And we'll hit save. Now another thing you can do, so if you can also add anchor text in a different way. So if there's one link, if you're only using one link for your money site link set, you can come over here to keywords. You can do it if you're using multiple links, but you won't have any control. So for example, if I have example.com and then example.com/product, I may want different anchor text for example.com/product than I do for just example.com. So if you're using multiple links and you want different anchor text, you need to use you don't want to use this. You don't want to use the keyword section. But in this case, I'm going to. So use keywords, and this is your primary keyword. All of these except spin tax. So let's just put, we can put dog food there, and then, or we could put, if we want to do spin tax, we could put dog food, dog treats. Secondary could be pet supplies, generic, click here, the naked URL. So you can adjust the percentages like that, and then just hit save. So now we've got our keywords entered, and then you always have to click the screen to close. So every time you do something, generally you just have to click the screen, which is odd, but you have to do it. So yeah, so that's our link set. You can also import, and then of course you can export. You can export it with the URL only, which is a text file, or you can export it with the URL and the PR, which is now Rankerx has replaced PR with domain authority. So that is how you mess with the how you add your money site. Now you also use link sets to save the output from projects. So if I go out and make a bunch of Web 2.0s, I'm going to save those to a link set, and that way when I export the link set, I can send it to a client and say, oh hey, here's a list of the web properties that I made, and here's where your link is placed. So that's what link sets are used for. So for projects, we just click add new. Everything begins with account creation. So basically you want Rankerx to go and make accounts for you. And so we're gonna put, let's just do Web 2.0 accounts. Well, I'll usually put tier 1. Depending on which tier I'm making the accounts for. In this case, we'll pretend it's tier 1. So we hit save. It makes the project. And then you just click the I. So this is the main account creation screen. Now, as you can see, it's got a ton of different sites. So you can create, a bunch of different accounts. So for example, it has press release sites. So what you can do is just go to the module, go to press release, and then hit filter. And then it'll show you all of the press release sites. Now it's only got a few, so it's definitely not Rankerx's strong point. But we can look at, it does bookmarking. Premium are the good sites. So when you see premium, so for example, if we use social network premium, and then we sort it by domain authority, we will see that, like, here's all the good ones it can create. So it can create Tumblr, LiveJournal, Foursquare, Storify, Jimdo, just all these Web 2.0 sites, Fullerton.edu, RebelMouse, just everything. It's got like every site you could probably think of, and then it tells you whether it's do follow or not. Now, Rankerx cannot create Facebook or Twitter accounts, but if you've purchased Facebook or Twitter accounts and you want to manage social signals, or you want to create social signals, you can add Facebook and Twitter accounts into your private network section and manage and create a bunch of social signals. So this is really awesome, and I've never seen anybody do it before, but you can do it. I mean, I've done it on a small scale, but I don't have 1,000 Twitter accounts sitting in a private network here in Rankerx, but I have placed 5 or 6 Twitter accounts into a private network just to test it, and it does work. I mean, it's really cool. Rankerx, you can use it for just so much. It is the go-to tool, and I really I highly recommend it above everything else. For tier, I recommend it above for everything else. Above everything else for tier 1 link building. GSA, search engine ranker, is obviously the best. You can get the most links, for tier 2 and tier 3. But Rankerx is just the best thing ever. So yeah, so let's do this. So let's create a bunch of premium accounts. So we click edit, and then we will click select, which selects all of them, and we'll uncheck Facebook and Twitter. I mean, it won't try to post to them, but just uncheck it. And then next thing we want to do is come over here to account info. So we have to make an account profile to save our accounts to. So what I'm going to do is click new account profile, social network accounts, and then boom, there we go. Then you come over here, do that. Now here's where you can download a pre-created email. You can download an email from your email list, or you can enter one yourself if you click verification info. But we'll just download a pre-created one, and then you can hit generate random info, and it creates first name, last name. Now I'll change these because I'm based in the USA, and if I'm working with a USA-based client, there's not too many people named Fisted Clancy in the US, so I'll change these to Mike. Lester's pretty cool. We can do Jason. We can do Alan. We can do Miles. We can do Tom. And then Kevin. And then we can do Hank. And then it does the usernames. So you're gonna end up with usernames like Clef, Taste, Smoke Path, Risk Roll, Dancer Makeup, Joseph Kama, March Singer, Smoke Bee, Butter Bee, Butter Cake, and then there's the password, so it creates a password for you. So what we will do, if you want to add your own email, don't worry about changing this unless it's IMAP, and you can usually just leave it set for POP3, Hotmail Outlook. But if you click custom email, you just click IMAP, POP, whatever you want to do. Enter the email, the email password, the server address, which for Yandex I use imap.yandex.com, and then you enter the server port, which for IMAP it's usually 993, and then you can hit test email. But we're gonna go back to using theirs, and we'll just hit. Oh, it's not gonna work. Oops. So we go back over here, download pre-created email. Let's try it again. See that it's successfully logged in. Click to close. Now what I always do when I'm running a project, I like to go back to the site list. First I hit save changes. So you can save your project. And I always go back to the site list to see, because it'll actually show you the progress. And then you can schedule it. So you can start it on a date and time, or if you can start it after another project. So if you're doing it manually, so this is your first project, this is account creation, but for your next project you might want to go out and post to those social network accounts. So for the second project, if you want to schedule it, you just click start after project, and then you click the project you want it to start after. But we don't want to schedule it, we're going to do it right now. So then you just click start project, and then it comes down here and it shows you what's running. So we can see that some of them fail, and sometimes it fails just because of the email you're using. If you're using a mail.ru email account, those fail sometimes. I've seen them fail with certain platforms. But if you're using Yandex, or if you're using what's another one? If you're using Hotmail accounts that you've purchased, I mean, those are gonna pass every time. So you can see it made me a Tumblr account, made me a WordPress blog, made me BraveNet, Brown Paper Tickets, FC2. So you can see that the success rate is pretty high. It failed for Rebel Mouse, but I think Rebel Mouse is actually, I think they've stopped letting people create blogs on their site. So that's no big deal. Blog.com has failed. Our Stage. So it looks like that one failed because of the CAPTCHA. So whoever was typing the CAPTCHA failed. And you can see here this one failed. It says signing up, so it did go back and retry it. Oh, and see here, vision.kz says please use another email address. So that's example of one that is not willing to accept the Rankerx emails. And then this one failed. It looks like the CAPTCHA was not doing good. This one failed. This one is failing. So they're gonna fail sometimes. I mean, websites constantly update their stuff. They constantly update their login pages to prevent spam. And what programs like Rankerx do is they basically go visit a website and look for certain code to click on, to type into. So let's say I'm Tumblr, for example, and I am getting a lot of spam accounts created. If I go in and I change some of the code on my registration page, now all of a sudden Rankerx can't find the code that it was using previously to post to, so it's going to fail. But the Rankerx team, they do a really good job of updating. I mean, there's updates like almost every 2 weeks. They're constantly removing dead sites and adding, they add new sites. So So let's see, we got 53 sites successful, 16 failed. So that's not bad. So it looks like there's a total of 69 sites, and we weren't able to hit 16 of them, but that's okay. And then what it does is going in, it's verifying the emails, and we'll just wait for it. But actually, you know what, we won't wait for it. Let's go back to campaigns, and it tells you here if there's a project running. So we can see here the project is running. Now if I wanted to make a new project, maybe I want to post to those, just click whatever project type you want. So in this case it's social network. We'll just do SN1, and then we go into it, and what we want to do, from this place, so first you want to click edit, but you could click select and select all of them, and it's only going to try to post to the sites where there's an account. But for whatever reason, I always just filter it. So I know I've only created accounts for premium sites, so I can just hit select, and it only selected the premium ones. See? So now we go to content info. This is where you choose your account profile. So you just click social network accounts, output link set. This is the link set where your links are going to get stored from this project. So we only have one link set, and it's our money site. So we need to hit add new link set. We'll just put SN1, and I always just put output. So that's kind of my little process. Then you come down here and find it. Now your content bucket. So we haven't set up any content buckets yet. So, and it's gonna, here, so let's go to the content manager. So we come over here, we click new content bucket, and I'll just put test because it's our test project. Now Rankerx does allow you to grab articles. So you can click new article, and they'll let you download 10 free articles per user per day. So in this case, I don't know what you even want to pick, but let's do affiliate marketing. So then we just click download content from article builder. Boom, there's our article. Now we have to generate a spun variation. Now this is where you can use spin rewriter, word AI, but I didn't set up because I don't ever spin from here, but I'll just use built-in spinner. Boom, it spins it. It also, and then you have to generate author name and bio. Then you just hit preview article. So know what to do when pursuing affiliate marketing. And it's not too bad. It's not too bad of a spin here, but whatever. It's not going to be as good as Word AI, but it's free. You can use it for free, so it's a good thing. Then you just hit save changes, click to close. So there's our article. Now, what I like to do is download articles from Content Machine. So you just use the API, and just find your, if you don't see your Content Machine project, you have to click update campaigns. But, so this is going to download articles. It does take it a moment. So we are going to just wait for this. Boom, there it is. Now, I'm doing a sort project in GSA, so I just had some content here, but it's about dogs. So It tells you how many times you've used the article. And if you go into an article, I know there's a place where you can actually set limits. I'll have to find that, but oh, here it is. Number of times an article can be used. So you can put 1, or I'll just put 10. So it's only going to be able to use each one of these articles 10 times. I mean, I recommend maybe 2, but just for fun, we're going to put 10. And then now if you want to import, you can import them or import them with the file name as the title of the article. So those are 2 options you can do. With SEO Content Machine, which is my favorite, you have to import them. It's not automatic, but I think SEO Content Machine gives you way more features, and it gives you a lot more. I think the quality is better than Content Machine, but Content Machine is a lot faster in terms of getting articles into applications. Like with GSA SER, you can use the Content Machine API. Rankerx, you can use the API. So with SEO Content Machine, if you're listening, creator of SEO Content Machine, you should set up an API so that people can pull articles directly from your software, and more people would buy it because the quality is definitely better than Content Machine. So there you go. So now we've got our content bucket set up. We just come over here, click our content bucket. So now this is where you choose which link set you want to use. Make sure use link set is selected, and then you get to pick a link set. So I'm going to use, if you're doing tier 1, you want to use your money site. How many links per post? You can do 2. So if you have a link set that has multiple links in it, you might want 2 links or 3 on each page. So, but in this case, we only have 1 link in our link set, so we just want 1 link. And then the percentage of posts that have links, so we want to do 100%. So we hit save, and then you can do it by doing, you can replace a keyword in the article, you can put the link at the top, the bottom, between sentences, between paragraphs. I mean, it's just a lot of different options, but I'll do top on this one. Now there are blurbs. Blurbs contain links, so it's like just a little, it's like a blurb. So it's what it is. It's a few short sentences, and it would have a link in it. I'm not using blurbs, so we're gonna leave that unchecked. And you can insert images into the content. So for right now, I'm not gonna click that, but that is an option. And then you have to put tags in for everything. So you have to press enter to insert the tag. So for whatever reason, for every single project, even if the project doesn't involve tags, you have to put tags, which is fine. I mean, it's not that big of a deal. So it looks like we've got our site list, we got our site selected, so we'll save everything, and then let's see what we got here. Now remember, some sites failed from before. Okay, so some sites we don't have accounts for, like Rebel Mouse, we don't have an account for that. Same with like LiveJournal, looks like DeviantArt, we don't have an account for. So some of the sites failed right away. Some of them are going to fail when you go to make the post. It's just, a fact of life. Some of them just fail. So like here's one, Daily Strength, it failed. Let's see if we can figure out why. Because it did, it was successful in creating an account. Yeah, it doesn't really say, why it failed. Let's see if we can expand that. It's not letting me expand it. I don't care though. I don't care anymore. It's just just know that some of them are going to fail. But we're getting a lot of success. So Tumblr was a success. WordPress was successful. you know, look at all these. All of these are brand new blogs with our link embedded. And they're mostly do follow. I mean, look at all these do follows. Look at all of that. Boom. There's one that's still running. For whatever reason, this particular site is slow. And I don't know what it is, but it just seems like it's always like the last one left running. So we're gonna have to wait for that one to finish. I mean, we don't have to. We could stop the project now. We'll give it a couple more seconds. But yeah, see, we did have some failures, but look, we got 42 sites. Now, had we used a good email address, we probably could have gotten more. But that's just, we used a crappy email that was banned from some places, so. And Web 2.0 platforms are getting really good at detecting spam. They're just getting good at it. So this is what we've done. So we've got those. Now let's go over and look at our link sets and the project completed. So go back to our campaign. Let's go to link sets. We got 42 links. I want to try to find the WordPress one to show you. I mean, it doesn't really matter. Here, let's do this. Let's export the URLs. Let's open up. There we go. So I'm just trying to, or here's Jimdo. Let's look at the Jimdo one, because Jimdo is a really good site. I like it. A lot of people like using Jimdo. Oops, I just deleted it. Alright, so let's see how our... Oops. So here's our Jimdo post, and let's see how it turned out. Look, home, about, contact, your child's first pet. So there's our link in with our anchor text. And I just, generally I would put that in the, somewhere in the page, but just for fun I put it up top so we can see. But here's the article. And so what we're going to end up with is stuff like this. So, I mean, you know, you can go back and change that later if you want, but, you know, if you're just spamming, you don't have to. But if you're making this for like a super nice tier 1 network, then what you may want to do is go back in and really like tweak the sites, or just hire a VA to go in and just make little changes. And plus, you know, sometimes they'll get deleted too if they look extra spammy, like this one. And this one looks pretty spammy, so I would imagine it's going to get deleted at some point. But again, I'm just going through these just to show you how to use the software, so we're not really trying here. Let's look at another one. Let's try. I really wanted to see the WordPress. It's just so much text to here's the Tumblr. Let's look at the Tumblr one. It would be really nice if Rankerx would let you add, like, make it possible to add profile pictures and name the blog. That's asking a lot, but it would be nice. So yeah, there you go. There's the, and then see here, it did put the tags in here at the bottom. Boom. So there we've got our nice tier 1 network built. And we got 42 blogs on tier 1 in just a few minutes. I mean, it's really fast. So close out of that. And then, so that is how you create accounts and post sites using Rankerx. I'm going to make another video that goes into more detail, because we need to talk about wizards and blurbs. I want to show you how to import the email list, how to set up a private network, and then how to add custom sites. So that's it. That is the tutorial. Like it and share it. post it on Black Hat World so people can see that there is a tutorial.